This is a video on how to change the belts on any 2.8 BMW. This will work for a 328, a 528, it really doesn't matter. It's the same engine and the belts are the same. There's two belts. Here we go. One is shorter and one is longer. Obviously you can't get it from up here. So what you do is you get a Phillips head screwdriver. You go down here. I jack the car up. There's a plate right here for jacking car up in the middle. And I leave a jack on the side just so that I got extra. There's all these little Phillips. I know you probably can't see them. There's all these little Phillips making this plastic cover stick on. So you take off all the Phillips, the plastic cover is going to fall right out. I took the cover off. This is the cover. Once you take those Phillips out, they just go. It just comes right out. So here's what we got to do. There's two belts on this car. There's a belt on the outside, and there's a belt on the inside. So what you have to do is there's tensioners on this car, and it's very easy. But you got to pop these plastic caps off of these tensioners. There's one here. This is for the outside belt, and then there's one here, right there. And you pop those plastic covers off. It's my screwdriver. With a screwdriver. So here, I'm going to do the easy one just so I show you how. You just wedge that in there, and it pops right out. Now this is a customer's car of mine, so I'd be careful not to break them. I've never broken one of these things. They're pretty strong. And there you go. When you pop that off, hello. When you pop that off, you get this. Is a Torx. Now, you get any Torx that's going to fit in there. I'm not really sure what size it is. We're going to get to that in a second. And then you turn the wrench clockwise. It's going to loosen this tension. You're going to be able to pull the belt right off. It's a T40. That's the size of it. And what you want to do is, I got a wrench on here because this fan shroud was in the way of my ratchet, so I had to put a Torx bit on there, and I put a wrench on the Torx bit. So you just pull it down, and that didn't work. Okay, that was a T40 Torx. I stuck it in there, I pulled it. I couldn't do it while the camera was on because I'm trying to hold the camera and pull this thing down, and you turn it clockwise and this whole thing comes down and you can slip the belt right off. Now the next one you got to do is this one up here for the second belt. Same thing, you pop the plastic cover off, you take a Torx, or some of these there's a nut underneath of them, so you just check it out and see which one you got. You've got a Torx or you got a nut. I like the or a bolt anyway. I like the bolts better because they're easier to get a hold of. But same deal, clockwise, slip the belt off. Now remember how the belt went on, because these cars normally don't have a sticker with the belt routing diagram. If you forget how it went on, you can Google it and you can find belt routing diagrams for pretty much any car. And the same, look at this belt. That's bad when it got cracks on it like that. Now when you got the belts off, you're going to put the belts on. The same thing. You just route the belt the best you can. You leave it off of one pulley. You turn these clockwise until there's enough slack on the belt to get it on every pulley, and then you'll release the slack. Watch your fingers because they will chomp your fingers a little bit, and you're done. Doing a BMW is not that hard. It's not really harder than any other car. The only thing you got to do is jack it up and take this plastic cover off. Belts back on. Did I say that was a T40? Those are T45s. T45s on both of them. Now the top one, the inside belt, was a little bit tricky because what I had to do was when there's no belt on this tensioner, it'll snap all the way back, and the tensioner and the idler will get crimped together. So to get this belt on, you actually need to have the tensioner with a little bit of tension off of it to even get the belt on. So that's a little bit fiddly and tricky, but it doesn't take a long time. And we're done, man. So just put those little plastic covers back on so that these things don't rust up. And it'll be terrifying for the next person to do it if those things are rusted and they end up stripping. It'll be a nightmare. So yeah, put those plastic covers back, and put this plastic cover back that goes here, and you're finished. Thanks a lot.